Hello everyone, long time no see. Last time we spoke, I said I was going to upload every month, but then I was sent to the second largest coal mine in the world located in Harusu, China. After 6 long months of work, I was shipped back to the United States with a whopping $20 to my name. I then proceeded to purchase a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper Blackberry, zero sugar. With about $14 left to my name, I found a gem of a game on the Steam store. Welcome to White Knuckle. White Knuckle is self-described as a first-person roguelite speed climbing game. The main gist of it is you start at the bottom of substructure 17 and your objective is to get out. But I think if it was that simple, this game wouldn't have an overwhelmingly positive review score on Steam. So, let's start with the basics. The first thing upon loading into the tutorial that you'll notice is these big old grippers. These are obviously your hands, the things you'll be using to get from point A to point B 90% of the time. And if you watch any gameplay, you might be wondering, why are they going from white to red? That is the stamina system. Each hand has its own separate stamina. You'll know when the hand is almost out of stamina when it looks like this and you hear this. So you might ask, what consumes stamina? All right, let me break this shit down for you. Each hand has 10 separate points of stamina. While holding on to something off the ground, it drains at a rate of 1 point per second. When you jump while holding onto something, it takes 1 point of stamina away from the hand you are holding onto something with. Stamina regenerates at a rate of 0.83 points per second, which means it takes about 12 seconds to go from 0 stamina to 10 stamina. This is probably the most unique stamina system I've seen in a game, and it works really well for a climbing game. So now that you've got a grip on the stamina system, you see what I did there? You see? Left, no! Let's go over some of the items you have to help you escape. So you've got your hands, but there's going to be some jumps that are a little rough to make with your hands alone. Sometimes you just have to make your own way. So what tools do you have to assist you? The main 2 things you'll find along your way are rebar and pitons. Pitons? Am I saying that right? Plus, those 2 items, different variants. Rebar is great when you have a path in mind and you can throw it from a standing position. If you throw it midair, it'll boost you in the opposite direction that you threw it in, which can also be used to your advantage. The rope rebar is fantastic for skipping sections. Just throw it on something and boom, an unrestricted path. Bomb rebars are great for pitons are better for just making your own path in the middle of a climb. And the auto pitons just drill themselves into the wall so you don't have to hammer it in. Now let's do a quick rundown of other items you'll find during your escape. Canned food and energy bar. Both regen stamina. Canned food leaves you with garbage you have to discard after eating. Pills. Reduces stamina use and boosts stamina regen as opposed to only filling your stamina like food. The injector grants a boost to your speed, jump height, and climbing speed. There's also the grub, probably the most broken item in the game. You crush it, and then you can climb on literally anything. Now, without spoiling anything, that's most of the items you'll commonly find along your climb. But what hazards can you expect to face? Oh yeah, there's also a brick. Shit, I'm bricked up. Just when you thought it would be easy, climbing alone isn't enough. Why have someone climb if there's not something constantly threatening their life? They had the same mindset in the coal mine. Anyways, the first hazard you might notice is what's called the mass. In certain regions, the mass will follow you at all times. Normally the mass isn't too much of a threat once you've gotten some playtime in, as long as you're moving at a decent speed. But in hard mode or endless, it will get fast enough to be a threat. The most common threats besides the mass is the barnacle and the blood bug. The barnacle is basically the ones from Half-Life, but even worse somehow. They'll stick their tendrils around the room, hoping to get a decent meal. But the meal is you. But things aren't all bad. They can also be used to your advantage at certain sections. When a tendril grabs you, you can smack it with your hammer to make it retract. So if you grab it and hit it with your hammer, movement. The blood bug, on the other hand, just smacks you around. Not too much of a threat, but there have been times where it kills me, just because I'm not paying attention. You can also let them hit you in a direction you want to go, but most of the time I just smash them with the hammer so they don't get in my way. One of the most annoying hazards, in my opinion, is the fucking steam coming out of the pipes in the area called, wait for it, Pipeworks. This is an area where the mass is constantly rising, so having to wait for the steam to stop or getting knocked down can be the end of your run. Fuck the steam. There are a few more hazards, but I don't want to spoil the really fun stuff, so let's move on to the next chapter. This section is going to be a bit short just because, like the hazards, I don't want to spoil too much. Play it for yourself. You start White Knuckle in the silos. This is obviously the easiest area to climb in. All the obvious routes to climb are very easy and simple, but once you go through it 100 times, you'll be able to zoom through it. There are these sections with massive fans, and it's fun to jump around with low gravity, but be careful to not get sucked into them. About halfway through the silos is the break room, with 2 vendors, and once you progress enough, there will be an experimental perk machine. Let me take a quick detour to explain vendors and perks. Across your journey, you'll find these little golden and sometimes silver roaches. Stuff these in your inventory because these are the currency of the game. Once you find a vendor, take your piss and cum roach and shove it in there. Once they're in the machine, it'll save between runs. There's no point in holding onto them in a run since they're banked as soon as you insert them into the machine, and then they'll be ready for use in future runs. Speaking of vendors, once you use an item enough, it'll start appearing in vending machines ready for purchase. Perks work as you'd expect. You pick one and it does what it says. Simple. If you see pulse organ, take that shit. Runs are so much easier with a double jump. Trust me. After making it through the silos, you'll arrive at Interlude Lockdown. Just climb the big ass ladder, push the button, and boom. Region 1 done. Good job. But that is literally just the start. Pipeworks is where things really get going. After getting your perk 30, it's time to keep climbing. Pipeworks has some very claustrophobic areas and very wide open ones with many routes to take. This is one of my favorite regions to climb in just for the sheer variety of areas. There's also a few new creatures you'll find here, the Striders and Gas Bags. The Strider is pretty chill, you can even climb on them no problem. You can pet them and they don't even care. They can also be used to open new routes if they're in the right area. The Gas Bags, on the other hand, are a bit more volatile. They kind of act as a slow homing jump pad, which sounds weird, but they're very helpful to boost off of if you actually do it successfully. Very dependent on that last part. Pipeworks ends with Interlude Ascent. You ascend on an elevator to the first stop, where you have to hit 3 buttons and make it back to the elevator. Simple enough, right? Well, there's parts of this climb where you either have to make some crazy jumps or be on the safe side and just use an item. There's also another method that makes it so you don't even have to get off the lift, but I'll let you figure that out for yourself. The next stop, all you have to do is hit a single button. Very simple. All I'll say is I hope you can operate under pressure.
Airlock seal is priming. You have 30 seconds to return to the emergency personnel lift. Have a good day.
That's it for an interlude ascent. I've only covered about a third of the regions, and each region introduces new hazards and items. For example, the next region introduces a flashlight and a flare gun, and some new hazards like Anyways, my main goal with this video is to get you to play Peak. No, not that Peak. I want you to have the same experience that I did. Go experience it for yourself. So I'm leaving the big surprises for you to see for yourself. I was locked into this game for like a month straight, and I have over 50 hours in almost all the achievements. I can't remember the last game I did that with. I love this game so much. Everything about it is so purposefully made. From the art style to the movement to the soundtrack, it's all so fucking good and meshes together so well. When I first beat the campaign before Abyss was out, my clear time was 1 hour and 18 minutes. And then my next clear time was 25 minutes. It's so addictive to get good at this game. And I haven't even mentioned the secrets. There's so many little secrets to find. There's actual lore to read that I haven't even touched in this video. And on September 29th, the Abyss update came out. For some reason, I thought it was going to be the final update for the game, and I was very wrong. In the update's notes, it says, the Abyss marks the halfway point of the planned campaign. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but I already put 50 hours into this game before the Abyss update, and I'm putting even more time into it now. By the way, the Abyss update is peak. It is such a good region. It switches things up so well. My main goal for this video was just get more eyes on this game because I've sunk 50 hours into a game that cost me $13. I can't tell you the last time I've had this happen to me. While it does have 4,000 reviews and overwhelmingly positive ratings on Steam, I feel like it deserves so much more for what it is. So get out there and knuckle your white. I'm Sea Syrup, and I hope you have a wonderful day, night, or whenever you're watching this. Too long didn't watch. Play White Knuckle. Go play it, please, now. Play the game now!